Hi there, my name's Andrew Holland, and I'm here with James Dooley. And we're going to have a little bit of a chat about some of the things that James Dooley does. Now, I'm going to be honest here that I've known of James for a very, very long time, very big character. And and I'm sure like many people, want to pin him down and interrogate him. And that's what I'm going to do right now because I want an answer from the man himself. What exactly, James Dooley, do you do for people?
Well, that's a good question, Andrew Holland. So we do lead generation in the UK, mainly in the UK for UK businesses looking to grow. The business model is a PWYW setup, which stands for pay what you want. Some people call it like a no win, no fee or guaranteed lead generation, performance based lead generation and stuff like that. But we like to go down the road of pay what you want marketing. And a lot of people ask the question of why do you go down that route? And I did some psychological and things of where we was taking on certain clients and was like, how much do we charge certain customers for lead generation? How much do we charge for leads? How much would we charge for SEO, for PPC? Like what kind of management fee would we do? And the truth of the matter was that certain business owners are very frugal and they're only willing to pay so X amount of money and that's their limit. Where there's certain other business owners that are willing to pay a lot more, they make a lot of profit. And obviously what it allows us to do is be able to weed out who we want to work with long term. So the pay what you want marketing strategy is like there's one or two steakhouses that have no prices on their menu. And customers come in and they pay what they think that steak is worth. And actually, when they changed that model to not having a price on the menu, they actually started to get, there was a high-end steakhouse, they started to get more money than what they would have got than if they put a price, assigned a price to the steak. And then because of that, then they removed the price and ended up earning more. So we kind of gone down that route. It's worked very well for us. We're quite selective with who we work with. But the PWYW lead generation strategy is basically where we're doubling down on. Like we want businesses to grow within the UK and we like this model the best.
Fantastic. I mean, it is a really interesting model you've got there. It's something I've seen before, and I've heard, don't know how true this is, that Google's future of paid search is going to be very similar in terms of you're going to set the price you're prepared to get your lead for and your sale for, and they'll give you that kind of revenue back. So that obviously aligns to what's happening generally. Tremendous amount of value because the consumer gets to be in the driving seat in that relationship. So I'm going to sort of push you a little bit on this one, James, now in terms of lead gen. I'm a massive fan of lead gen, by the way. I mean, we all are because everyone loves the phone ringing and the email box pinging and a new lead coming in. So you generally in the marketplace of making people very happy. So how do you make sure the leads are quality? Because that's the biggest issue with lead gen. That people get leads and they'll pay for a company to come in, and obviously you're paying what you want, which is fantastic. That's the first hurdle done. But how do you ensure quality leads?
Do you know what? That is the most important question that we as a sales company, when we're first dealing with the business that wants the leads, that's the most important part for us to get out of the client. So we need to make certain our keyword research is absolutely bang on, our topic research, where they make the most money, on what services and products where they make the most money. Because if we get that wrong, then obviously if they want to pay what you want model, they're only willing to pay a small amount of money. So we want to make certain that we're targeting the right type of leads. And I think this is what differentiates us from a lot of other lead generation companies that just on a pay per lead model, that we only get paid what they're willing to pay, if you get what I mean. So we based on performance. So what we end up doing is we end up generating obviously a lot of inquiries to start with. We kind of spread the net as wide as possible. And then what we'll start to do is we'll start to get that feedback from them to say, what did they convert and what didn't they convert? Now, what we can start to do is if we've sent them 50 leads, and let's say it was for boiler repairs, right? And they're saying, we don't really do boiler repairs. We only install new boilers. So we could then segment them leads to a company that just want boiler repair, that they're geared up for servicing and maintenance of boilers. So what we're able to do within our CRM system is generate the volume of leads, but then segment between businesses. Okay, these are a servicing company. They can go and service 5 different boilers in a single day. Let's send that there. Okay, these want boiler cleaning, which might be different from boiler repair. They're opening it out, they're cleaning the fan and stuff like that. That goes through to that company. And then the ones that actually want to pay there and then £2,000 or £3,000, depending on like what kind of boiler that they want, the replacement of the boiler then would go through to that company. So it's more on the generating the volume and then the segmentation and the qualification of the leads at the front end that allows us then to make certain that the businesses that we're dealing with, again, the right type of leads, they're then making a good return on investment. And then out of that, they pay us then what they want from the profits that they've made. We completely de-risk it. And then it allows us to grow. They're not asking us 1,000,001 questions at the front end. They're not worried about some of the leads saying, I don't want to pay for that lead. They don't pay for it unless they convert. So it makes it a no-brainer for the businesses in the UK.
James, I mean, just to finish off, I really like this model for lots of reasons, and I'm just going to say why I like this model more than anything else, because I've been a small business owner, so I know what it's like to get leads. I've worked with small business owners, and small business owners are very, very good at doing what they do. If you're good at a boiler fitter in a boiler company, you're good at that. What no one's asking you to become is an expert in digital marketing and lead generation. You just don't have the time. So having a model like this that fits in somebody's economics so they can understand how much profit they're making on the front end, how much profit they're making on the back end works really well. And the other reason I like it more than anything else is it puts money into the economy. And what you're doing really is you're allowing people to not like pay a lead gen company that makes a lead gen company rich on itself, but what you're actually doing is changing the narrative to say, Luke, pay what you want, pay what you within your profitable options, so you know what's going to make you profit. And the reason I love that is because that money that they make as profit from the lead gen then goes back into the economy, goes into salaries, it goes into the economy, it goes into the local businesses. And with the UK economy, I think this is a massive part of this because, and the other thing is because you're going to be working and making the assumption lots of businesses, lots of small to medium enterprises in various sectors across the UK, you're spreading the wealth not into a couple of major conglomerates and the big players that have got huge budgets. What you're doing is you're maximizing the communities in the UK for their revenue generating potential. So first of all, congratulations on the model. I think it's brilliant. Great idea. I think everyone's going to love it. And congratulations on doing something that's going to feed back into the UK economy in a really good way.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Andrew Holland.
No worries.
Cheers.